Hey everybody who's joined so far. Two folks. What's up? Happy Thursday. Give me a little thumbs up if you can hear me. I can never tell if people can hear me on this. So give me a little thumbs up down in the comments if you can hear. I see my sister. I see Black Brew Babes here. Thanks y'all. Stephanita is here, who's our guest. We're going to pull her up in a few minutes. What's up? I guess that means y'all can hear me. Yes, thumbs up. Thank you, sister. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so happy to see people joining. Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. I was so confused today because I was out of town this week, and today was my first day back at work, and I thought it was Monday. I commented on how today was Monday to somebody, and it's obviously not. But I said, well, I guess it's my Monday. What's up, Clueless24, 1995? Thank you for being here. 2B1 Travel, Mansa Musa. Hey, thanks for being here. Y'all, first of all, thank you so much for coming back. As y'all know, I started Beer Biz and BS last year in the fall, and had such good conversations there. I knew that I always wanted to bring it back, and I thought that it would be, very appropriate to bring it back for Women's History Month, because I know so many amazing ladies, and I wanted to share those people with you. The Source House is here, February.I, Sandy Cap. What's up, girl? So, first of all, what are y'all drinking? What's everybody drinking? I have something I'm going to try. It is, let me see if y'all can see that. It's kind of bright. It's a Mai Tai Sour, right? And it's by Odd Story Brewing out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. We had a lot of the ladies who are here and guys who are here now were at our Venus release a few weeks back up in Canton. And we have members all over the U.S. as a part of Craft Women Connect. And some of our members who we have not seen in a year, and she just joined, Kimbo Biro, along with ASAP Troya, came down from Chattanooga to hang out with us for our release. It was such an amazing surprise. And along with them came lots and lots of delicious, delicious beer, because when people come into town to something that's beer related, like, you have to do a swap. So we knew they were going to bring some stuff. So me, Chris, Michelle got together and brought some awesome stuff too to swap with them. But one of our friends who we have in common, named Sarah Kate, came down. I'm sorry, she couldn't make it down, but she sent beer with them and wanted to make sure that I got this Mai Tai Sour. And so I'll tell you all about it. It's an ale brewed with pineapple, orange, cherry, and lime. It's a cocktail-inspired beer. And they fermented it with pineapple, orange, cherry, and lime puree. And they have a house-grown yeast that they use to make this sour. So, sours are made on purpose. And so I'm excited to try it. I am pouring it into an inappropriate glass, and I'll tell you why. It should go into like a tiku or a stem, right? Because sours are pretty delicate. They warm up very fast, and you want to keep them as cool as possible. So a stem is the perfect glass for a sour, because it keeps your hand away from the bowl of the glass, which would otherwise warm it up. So perfect glass for this. But I'm putting it in my mantra mug, because you're going to meet Katrina later on. You're also going to meet Stephanie in 1 minute. We're going to pull her up. But she is one of my two guests. Again, I have two ladies on every night. One person is a beer person and the other person is not, because I'm trying to balance things out. So Stephanita, give me a wave if you can in the comments. I'm going to pull you up. I want to make sure I have you close by to pull you up. She is a beer writer, a beer and food photographer. Her page is full of beautiful, beautiful photos. If y'all have time to check her out, Stephanita Eats. And I just can't wait to talk to her. And after her, we're speaking with Katrina Johnson, who's owner of Mantra Mugs, who makes these mugs. They're custom made, so you can put whatever you want on them. And this is probably beer. So the perfect mantra to put on my mug. We'll talk to her next. But first, it's Stephanita
um, who I am inviting to come hang out with me. Yay! Hi.
Hi, how
How
are
are you?
you?
I need a pillow because now I'm a little too low. So y'all allow me to readjust myself. Okay, that's so much better.
Woohoo! I'm
Hey
so
girl,
excited
how
to
are
be here.
you?
I'm good. I'm good to have the live. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
That
I'm
beer
so
sounds
excited.
really tasty. That
Oh
beer
my
sounds
gosh.
real good.
I can't even wait to taste it. Are you drinking anything?
So I've got two, but there's a reason. The
There's
first
always a
is
reason. There's always a
the first.
reason.
The first is actually an NA beer. You know, I've been doing some research and kind of doing some writing on NA stuff.
Tell
And
the
this
folks
first
what
one
NA
is actually
means.
a non-alcoholic. So this is going to be, let's see, zero. It's under 0.5% of alcohol is the limit in what indicates a non-alcoholic beer. And
Wow.
yeah, it folks are doing some really exciting things. I mean, it's that's a whole other conversation. I'm not going to go into that. We're
I'm
talking creativity
excited.
today.
Well, that is pretty creative, right?
It's pretty awesome. It's amazing what folks are doing. But this
Yeah.
one is the Soul Sour,
Soul
and it is
sour.
brewed in collaboration with beer culture.
Really? Yay! I almost
Yeah.
put out my beer culture tiku to show as
Oh,
the
yes.
dang, I'll have to do that next. That's so beautiful.
And
So,
it's tasty. It's
is
tasty.
it
It's got
tasty?
that little like little pucker that kind of like what good sours have, and I'm really excited about it. Yeah.
So
And then
Chanel says you're gonna need a little something, something. So yeah, what's the and then? What else you got?
I got Juice Bomb from Sloop. That's like you're like yeah, we just
Ooh.
gotta.
Ooh. And what's the ABV on that?
Oh gosh, let's see on a Sloop.
While you're looking, mine is 7.9.
Oh,
7.1%.
mine is 6.5 here, so not too bad.
Okay. We're in the
Not too
same
bad.
region.
Yeah.
We can have an adult conversation. Well, thank you for joining me. In case the people don't know who you are, tell
Absolutely.
the folks a little bit about who Stephanie to Eat
Sure
is.
thing. So Stephanie to eat. So I'll start with the name. My full name is Stephanie Anita Gravelese. I'm under 5 feet. I'm like a 4'9", inch into 4'10".
Are you?
I'm really, and so I'm half Dominican, so like it's just kind of a sort of nickname. I'm small, and it's always I'm eating or drinking something. So I'm a freelance food writer, and I also cover the craft beer industry. I say that as opposed to being a beer writer because I'm only
Okay.
learning to go through like this first level CBS and tasting beer. I love
Mm-hmm.
talking about brewing culture, what's happening in
Mm-hmm.
breweries and people making space for folks who don't look like folks who normally go to
Yeah, to be
let's go
there, right? Yeah, to
exactly
just
exactly
be.
exactly just and I also work as a food photographer. I create content for food brands, like food, like stuff you'll find at the grocery store, so
Really?
they can put it. I work with a chocolate brand. I work with a cured meats brand that I do social, yeah, because it's I don't write about that stuff, so I do photography for them. I do some social media, so I do a lot
Wow.
of things in food. But the most exciting stuff I like to talk about is like beer and food. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So did your background begin as a photographer who then started
It's actually
branching out into these areas?
it was marketing. And
Okay.
so,
Wow.
yeah. And I was really interested in why people bought what they bought.
Mm-hmm.
And the topic of creativity really excites me because that's sort of the need for how my career expanded was through bouts of creativity of things I was doing on my own that ended up turning into things that are now part of my career and have
That's wow.
completely, I mean, marketing makes up some of my work now, but significantly less because of being able to embrace creativity and being creative and letting my mind wander and say, what if? So,
Yeah.
yeah, so I started in marketing. Whether it was hotels, restaurants. I even worked for the Massachusetts House of Representatives, doing constituent advocacy. I was on farms,
Wow.
doing stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So I've done a lot of things kind of skirting around food, and honestly, how I started writing, it was actually Instagram. I was one of those trade show warriors, if you will, with those folks who was always on the road. I was slinging shots of vinegar. You folks who take shots of vinegar for health, right? This is like, listen,
Uh-huh.
I'm open up. and and so part of that, I was at trade shows, like, across the coast. I'm in upstate New York right now, but I was in Massachusetts for the past 15
Okay.
years, full time. But I was going back and forth, across the US, and I always was finding the good places to eat. I wanted to know where the restaurants were.
Absolutely. That's fun.
And
That's the
and
fun
I
part.
it's a fun part, but I ended up creating a separate Instagram account to post all my food because I figured well, I guess it's now my Finsta. I am aging myself because I think it's a Finsta. The folks on my Finsta, I'm like, I don't know if they need all that food content. And then um, an editor at my local paper said, "Hey, do you want to write for us?" And we won't talk about how much it was or how little it was.
Well, yeah. Or
Yeah,
how,
but that's
yeah.
okay. It was fun. It was fun. They said, "Hey, listen, just find a restaurant stuff that you think is cool, and you take great pictures." And so like it grew from there. And so, and then the beer portion came. Um, I talk about creativity. I actually wasn't a drink. I didn't really drink
I
until
heard
much
you
later.
say that
Yeah, yeah,
before.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was I'm adjusting a little bit, a self-described straight edge kid up until the ripe old age of 29. No lie.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Yeah, you really stuck through it.
I did. Um, and so when I got into craft beer, I said, okay, I want to really, really know.
Somebody asked me what I was
Oh
drinking.
yeah.
My Thai sour. I'm sorry, I'm listening.
Oh God, no worries.
I'm multitasking.
And so I'm like, okay, I want to get into beer. And so I decided to volunteer for a craft beer festival in Boston. And
Okay.
so that was waiting. Do you know Lawson's Fine Liquors? They're up
No.
Sip of Sunshine is one of their beers.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. It had just come out. This was 2013, and my one job for 4 hours was to manage the line of people who wanted to get a sample.
Ooh, I've done that before.
Yeah, and that was my first
Yeah,
introduction. Hmm.
yeah. Me and Sandy Cap, who is in the comments, used to. That's how we kind of found a beer crew. It was just she and I early on when I didn't have any other folks to drink beer with. She and I mean, I had friends who liked beer, but Chanel and I were like hard up beer lovers. So we found out about beer festivals and the fact that they needed volunteers, and that if you volunteered, you could go for free. We learned that real quickly. So we tried to go on the early end and
Oh,
go
that's
ahead and
good.
get our work done and hang out at the tail end. But yeah, beer festivals is where a lot of people I think got introduced to beer on a grand scheme. And I love it. I love it. Let's dive into creativity because we are having
We
one
could
of those.
talk. We could
Oh, we
talk.
could absolutely no. But what you said some things that made me think about how you can take something that was meant for one thing and sort of transform it into another, whatever, another career, another pathway. And for you, that was from marketing into writing and photography. Why do you think it's important for people to have, a creative outlet? Maybe it's not in their professional life. You happen to have both, but why do you think creative outlets are important?
I think that in order for us to be whole individuals, having a space, whether that be good workers and our partners and all that, having a space on our own to play and be creative, unstructured, without any sort of ties to it. I think it's really important for whether it's not necessarily to solve a problem. Sometimes a great piece of art or a great dish or something comes from it, but even that sort of that time that you spend on it with
Mm-hmm.
no expectations,
Yeah.
no, you know, nothing, no one can, it's not, it's like, well, I'm a terrible poet. Well, the process, I mean, I'm not saying about myself, but like the process of doing that, like just what you get from being able to do that and writing and
Yep.
all these things, just to let yourself it's a mental version of play.
It
And
is. I love
right.
that. I totally agree with you on that. I think that it just allows you, if you don't if you're someone who is so rigid and kind of structured, and I am that kind of person, I'm a left brain by nature, but I have this creative streak in me. And I learned that if I allow myself just a little flexibility, it creates this whole new like lane of freedom that you don't even really, that is accessible to you just about, anytime and in any place. And the fact that it just you can grow from that space is so beautiful. Is anybody okay? I see you, Stephanie. I think I was having little connection issues,
Okay.
but I see you again. I wanted to ask you, what are some things that we can do to bring more creativity into our everyday lives?
I think the first thing is time, making time
Yeah.
for it, whether it be 15 to 20 minutes. If you can, figure out how you are able to, whether it's a hobby or it's even within your own career, if there's something you kind of want to tinker with, just making sure to kind of have that actionable time, because we get so distracted.
So distracted.
So distracted. Like, what I love about lives is that I'm not gonna be sitting here looking on my phone. I'm not gonna be sitting here, right? But just like that, allow yourself to be present.
Yeah.
That's gonna be something that that will definitely help as far as having, making that space for creativity.
Yeah.
Also important, just even if it's, like I said, if it's within the career you already have, I think about engineers and coders who will just like, oh, I'm just going to take this line of code and do something with it. I'm not a
Whatever they do with it.
Whatever they do.
But
But also definitely look at things that has nothing to do with your career. Like, if it's about drawing or painting, or even if it's about just free writing, giving your space to kind of be out of whatever your everyday is, whether you're working at home or whether you're a full-time parent or whatnot, just giving yourself some time to do something that's idle.
Yeah.
And it's important that lets your brain rest. It lets your mind think about things that are, you think about what if, what would it be like if I tried this out for a minute? And I think that the importance of creativity is, that sense of play, and that sense of, I don't know about you, but I sometimes am hard on myself and I'm like, oh my God, try this. I don't know. But creativity allows us to think, what if I could?
Yeah.
And
I love that.
And if it turns out you can't, that's okay.
Then it's a bonus,
right? It's so cool.
Yeah. You are reminding people of some things that they need to get back to doing, and bringing those moments of creativity back into our lives, especially now that things are isolated. Things are so different. Well, we're isolated. So your career is in the creative field. What do you like to do? That's still creative, but outside of your already creative everyday life?
There's a couple of things, and this is a great question, because for a while when I was ramping up my business, I didn't really do a lot of creativity for myself, because especially when you're in a creative industry, sometimes it's hard to balance. But now there are a few things during the summer, especially where we're all starting to slowly come out of our houses, and I'm up in New York, so we had the cold. We did not have that warm weather, right?
No, you didn't get this. Yeah.
And so gardening was really cool. I actually got into randomly foraging.
Really?
And I didn't even, and again, the Northeast and the world being it was, I didn't really stray far from home, but I had this beautiful black walnut tree that I was able to harvest like the walnuts and like make nocino, which is a black liquor. Like, this is not stuff I write about per se, but it's just like,
you made it.
I made it with some. Because these black walnuts, they're the kind that if you you just infuse it in some like Everclear 90%. Oh yeah, I'll send you photos of the bottle that I got. It's at home, and it's like a dark black brown. It's an Italian liqueur. But I looked up plants.
Sounds crazy.
There's a plant that there's a plant that can replace flaxseed that we get on the sidewalks.
Ooh.
Like, learning about this isn't necessarily something I'm writing about, but that sort of connection with nature.
Yeah.
That was so nurturing, especially last summer when there was, just trying to figure out how to be. And a couple of other, like, not even food related is I love to sing. singing for me is like the joy. It is the everything.
Really? Oh,
And it's something that I'm not going to ever pursue, but like that's, thinking about kind of how these things, how songs are created and all of that, like, and even, yeah, just singing for myself. It's such a
yeah.
special thing that is, allows me to be creative and not think about what if. I mean, sure, I sing in the car and I sing in the shower, but just
We
like,
do.
just taking that
Yeah.
time, right? And taking that time. But I think that's, yeah, definitely finding things that are outside of maybe the world that you do.
Mm-hmm.
There are things I do creatively within my world. Like I'll do a photo shoot that for something that it's just for myself. It's not going to go on the gram. It's not for a client, just to try something out. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
But your point, as you said earlier, like it's not about the end result all the time, is it? It's just about the effort and the energy that you put into creating something, that it may not ever be for the end result sometimes. It's just for you. And
Absolutely.
I love that. I love that. Well, our time has already come to a close. I have maybe like a couple minutes or maybe a couple seconds actually. We were, wait a minute. No, we have 4 more minutes. Let's talk for
Okay,
4 more
cool.
minutes. I'm happy because I had a question for you about some of your photography, specifically like your cocktail photography.
Oh,
Do you
sure.
create recipes as well? Do you come up with cocktail? So we hear you creating this walnut liqueur. Do you also create and write recipes?
That is something I'm going to be adding in because I was
Mm-hmm.
I was a cocktail consumer, but
Mm.
not so much a make. I still am, let's be clear. But and during COVID, just during like last winter, I started tinkering with them and putting things together. And so no recipes just yet, but that may
Okay.
be the next step because I may want to share what I'm doing. But yeah, it's really it's beautiful even to see with like within creativity, like building onto it.
Uh-huh.
And
Mm-hmm.
again, recipes are just fun to share, but yeah, I mean, even from that confidence, it's like, wait, I can make a drink?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that was even creativity because I don't write about spirits and I don't, like it was just for the sake of, well, having a tasty drink because we couldn't go anywhere, but also,
That
developing that.
motivated a lot of creativity. What do they say? Necessity is the mother of invention. Like not
Absolutely.
having the things that we solely relied upon before the pandemic, just some of those things went away, and we had to find a way. And I'm so thankful that I'm on the other side of this in some ways, able to look back and find some positives out of last year. And I think it spurred a lot of creativity for a lot of people. A lot of people had to change their business models and had to change the way that they, live their everyday lives, had to change the way their kids are educated and everything. So if there's nothing, we can't say anything about 2020, I'd say we all probably grew in creative ways that we didn't imagine that we would or could. So,
Absolutely. And one thing
yeah.
I'll share too, Jen, is that prior to the pandemic, a lot of, even as a freelancer of many sorts, as a writer and all that, travel was a big part of my world. And
Right.
um, so I think that I didn't necessarily participate in creativity because idle
Mm.
time was travel. And so this staying put, staying home and all that, I think really, like, I see the hearts. I know you guys are there with me.
Yes, they
Staying
are
put
feeling it.
and being
Yes.
able to embrace that and letting that time, letting your mind wander in a good way, but also putting it to work to well, not even work, putting it to creativity,
To
to
play.
just
Yeah.
embrace it. Like that was definitely one of a really great outcome of this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us in this last minute one piece of advice for making sure that we make time every day for a little bit of creativity.
Schedule it. Take 5 minutes to 15
Doesn't
minutes,
it
just
sound
even
weird?
in your mind,
It
even
sounds
if it's
weird to schedule it, but I
yeah,
agree with you.
yeah, yeah. But even just if
Yeah.
it's before you settle down, you're like, okay, cool. It's before I go to bed. Turning down the phone. I'm just gonna like do this thing, or I'm gonna try. Try something new. But even just give yourself a little bit of time. Just book it out in your mind because
Yeah.
we get so distracted, and
Yep.
just even 5 minutes, just think about like devote to even maybe it's like, oh, I don't even know how to think about a hobby. Just devote a little bit of time to it. It can grow, but get it in where you can fit it in, as they say, right? Because
Yeah.
like we yeah, times like this, we definitely need that time to play and explore.
We do. And I think scheduling it, even though it sounds nerdy and weird to some people, it's intentional. And I see it as intentional, as saying, I intend to make this thing that is very important to me happen. And like you said, it can just be 5 minutes, but of doodling or chalkboarding or whatever your thing is, of just being intentional about creativity. And you've given us some great ideas today. And I'm so happy that we had this conversation, y'all. In case y'all don't know, before we go, I met Stephanie on Clubhouse in this Black and Beer group that we do on Mondays, and just talking about beer. And if you know how Clubhouse is, you don't get to see people's faces. You just hear voices, and it's sort of this more intimately, I think, spun or held conversation. And I was like, oh my gosh, this lady is amazing. I clicked on her profile and then went to her Instagram, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's really amazing. So we met there for several weeks in a row and have just chatted and have become friends in that way. I can't wait for the world to open up and I can make a trip up that way. I got to get to Connecticut to see some people. I got to get to New York to see some people. Yeah. So when things open back up, we will be sure to connect in person. If you're ever in Atlanta, you have so many friends down here. You have some fun places to come to. We'll make sure you have a really, really good time.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. Before we go, tell folks how they can connect with you on social media.
Sure thing. Instagram, Stephanie to Eats. If you are interested in seeing some of the writing I've done in photography, stephanita.com. And definitely let's connect on Clubhouse. That's where I do, it's got these great rooms that we're a part of every week and into all sorts of stuff. But yeah, either Insta or my website's a great place to reach out. And thank you so much. This has been such a fun conversation.
Yes, and as a thank you, I'm giving all of my guests, you the first, a gift card to Duchess Cosmetics. Duchess Cosmetics is sponsoring gifts every week, giveaways, and we are giving each guest an electronic gift card. I will send it to your Instagram so you can pick one of her beautiful shades. It's a woman-owned business here in Atlanta, and she has beautiful pigmented colors. I wear it a lot. This is one of the colors that I'm giving away every week, and you get to pick whatever you want. So thank you again for being here. Cheers to Women's History Month, and I'll see you probably next week on Clubhouse.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Thanks,
bye.
Bye.
Thank you again, Stephanie. So we are going to, in 2 more minutes, bring on the next guest. Y'all, thank you for being here just in time. I see Duchess. Hey, Duchess. I am rocking gin, which is the tube I'm giving away every week for free. But each guest of the show gets to go and pick an item within a certain amount, of course. You can't go and get no real expensive stuff. But I gave y'all some nice amounts. It's a thank you. But I say that to say that her glosses and her products are actually really, really affordable. So you could probably get a few things with the gift card I'm giving you. But this is her matte finish. And I just want to show y'all how none is coming off on my beer mug. Like not a smidge. And if you go out and hang out and drink and have beer like I do, we don't really put that in straws. We don't drink beer through straws. We do actually put our lips onto the glass. And so it's important that your lip color, as old folks say, your lip color doesn't come off. And speaking of my beer mug,
hi.
This is probably beer because it always is.
And you took my last one, so I have to settle for Atlanta. But guess what? I'm keeping it classy tonight.
Yay! Is that blue? That's a classic. Speaking of classy, that's a classic.
Yes. So we're gonna pour this in here. If you see my jacked up nails, that's what work looks like. So don't judge me.
Listen. Look at these man hands. I have not had a chance to go. I haven't been since last year. I used to get gel nails, SNS.
What?
I have not been back. And sometimes I don't even paint them anymore. I just gave up on life.
I know. I think the only reason why I did is because I thought I was going somewhere. And oh no, it was my birthday.
Okay. So you turned up and got cute.
Done. and they didn't last. So cheers.
Well,
R.I.P.
cheers.
to my nails.
Whatever. Woo, 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 woo. Y'all, I am so pleased to introduce you to my friend Katrina Johnson, who is the owner of luxury goods brand Mantra Mugs. If you're just joining, this is Beer Biz and BS Ladies Night. Every Thursday night, I'm talking to two amazing women. One is a beer industry chick, and the other does not have to be. And Katrina, she is a beer drinker, but but I have her on here to talk about this amazing company that she started, because I just, as a fellow entrepreneur and a ladypreneur, I know how sometimes, how difficult it can be to convince ourselves that we can step out and do something big. And the way you stepped out and did something big just is so inspiring and beautiful. And so I wanted to make sure I had a chat with you today. Tell the people a little bit about who you are.
Who am I? So my name is Katrina Johnson, and great setup. I am the owner. It's so weird to say these things out loud, because
I know, right?
Yeah, I mean, doing these things are relatively new to me, right? Because I still currently work in corporate America.
Mm-hmm.
I have a background in music. I was in radio for years. I was at Pandora for years, and then moved over to sports. And I always thought that I could, maybe start a business, but, my motto is, you could have a great idea, but everybody's not meant to be an entrepreneur, right? Not ready.
Not ready.
Until you're kind of like called, right? So this was literally a calling. It was an idea that came literally out of a meditation while I was healing from an illness. And I paid attention, and I was obedient, and everything that I needed, everything that, every idea, the concept, down to the colors, everything just came divinely. And it was really born out of, a need to say thank you to people. And I wanted to create something where people could send a gift, something cool, funny, irreverent, meaningful, inspiring, but not throw it away. You get flowers, they're beautiful, and I love them, don't get me wrong, but I truly enjoyed every single morning waking up, making my coffee, and picking out a mug. And you can ask any of my friends who travel, I would always ask them to bring me one back. So that's really how Mantra Mugs was born. I'm an insane music fanatic. So I know that. Yeah, like obsessed. Mm-hmm. And so originally the thought was to do like all kind of, music related mugs, particularly prints, which is where the scheme, the black and white, if you guys know about Prince and Under the Cherry Moon, black and white, very clean, classic. Yep. That's where that came from. And then it just kind of expanded from there. I don't want to keep talking. But...
No. Let me tell you, there are folks in the comments who are like, I love my Mantra Mug. I want people to put in the comments what your Mantra Mug says. So the cool thing about Mantra Mugs is that, so you have a site full of some pre-populated ideas and pre-populated mantras, which are awesome. But you get to create your own. Like this was I make this up. Yeah. I totally just typed into the program on the platform, this is probably beer. It showed me a proof, and then it was put in the mail and it came to me. So it's a beautiful, beautiful, cool idea. Sandy Cap is asking, where's Shannon? Because we know that Shannon has ordered some interesting mugs from you.
Oh, yeah. She's got everybody beat on the creativity when it comes to the mugs. I mean, the motto is say anything.
It is.
And I have seen some doozies. Hers probably top all the mugs that have ever come.
Because you can put what you want, and she put cuss words on hers sometime, and it's great. I love it.
Like real ones.
I love it. Real
like
ones.
Real
not the censored kind with asterisks in them. She put the real ones.
Right.
My sister's Mickey Fit has one that says Pilates Hottie. I think that's Sonia 212 has one that says this is some mess.
The friend you don't put on speakerphone. Yes.
Is that so?
Create magic, manifestation. Yes.
Yes, I love these. Focus. Oh, said full on cuss words. Yes, she does. I love it. I mean, what's the most creative or some of the more creative themed mugs you've gotten orders on?
Oh gosh. It's so bad.
Mm-mm.
The most creative. So here's the deal. Like the most creative ones are the rawest ones. You know, we're
Yeah.
talking about creativity here, and we're laughing about, you know, Shannon and how funny and, you know, sideways her mugs are. But
Mm-hmm.
it all comes down to being raw and unapologetic. That's what creativity is to
Yes.
me, right?
Yes.
So, you know, there's a funny one I put up that I mean, I laughed forever when A, B, C, D, like it was 3 letters in a row, like the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, U, C, K. I just thought that was like the funniest shit ever. I thought
I
it was so
love that.
cute. So I put it against like some dinosaur background. And, you know, it's like Mr. Robinson's neighborhood, because when you go to Mr. Robinson's neighborhood, that's what you're going to hear. You know,
You probably would.
it's not going to be like kindergarten. It's going to be like adult. But yeah, I think, you know, from a creative standpoint, I love for people to just not censor themselves. Yeah. And I think for this business, it's almost like for me, like Dr. You know, was it Jekyll and Hyde?
Mm-hmm.
But not really. And you've probably witnessed this. I think that, you know, starting this business also allowed me to really dive deeper into creativity. And part of that was learning who I was, right? And learning to be unapologetic about the things that I wanted to say.
Yes.
And not being judgy and not judging other people for what they wanted to say or what they felt. Right. Because a lot of this business, honestly, is built and based off of my growth.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Your
personal growth.
Yeah, my personal growth. You know, my emotional state at times, you know, you want to filter that sometimes, you know, but, you know, that's where the creativity comes from. I don't have someone who runs my social media.
Right.
I do it all myself. I wake up in the morning and sometimes I have an idea of what I want to put up based on, you know, maybe a good shot that I've taken or a great mug that's come in. Mm-hmm. There are other times where I am truly led to say something. And it may not be related to anything that's related to me. It's just something that comes through. And I think that, you know, part of that is really tapping into who you are. That is just authentically going to come out through, or your creativity is going to authentically come out that way. And that's how people start to resonate with you and your brand. People are not buying, they're buying these mugs. Yes. They're funny, they're cute, they're cool. You can have a whole collection. I love them. I can't get enough, and I have a whole shelf full of them. But they are resonating with you and your vibe and your message and the positivity and all those things that you're putting out there that are authentic and not like someone else. Right?
That is the beauty of it. It's like uniquely your own, but so universal that we all have it. And so when those moments, when we find connections with other people in a creative way, I think can be so explosive and can really like sometimes like catapult us to like different levels in all different facets of our life, like emotionally, personally, spiritually. If we allow ourselves to connect with ourselves first and then with others, especially along similar lines of creativity, just like the beautiful friendships and relationships and other ships that can form from that. It's just endless. It's endless.
That's right.
Yeah.
I tell people, you probably have some questions you want to ask, but I'll let you.
No, this is great. I'm weaving them in. This is perfect. Keep going.
No, I was going to, one of the things that, and you know, as I'm speaking and, you know, dropping a jewel here or there, if people catch it like a jewel, don't be afraid of yourself. You know, I think that I was afraid of myself and my views and my thoughts for a really long time. and
Yeah.
really kind of kept myself bound up and in a cage and didn't really value sometimes my opinions when it came to developing my own thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was so used to,
Yep.
helping to put together, marketing campaigns and strategies for other brands. And that's where I was comfortable kind of in the background. But I tell people, if you feel something pulling you, if you have an idea, if you want to step out of the box a little bit, trust yourself. Like, really learn how to trust yourself and your instincts, and don't worry about trying to attract a crowd or an audience or whatever that is. Go with what you feel innately. Your tribe is going to find you.
Yes.
You are an example of that.
It is very true.
You came out authentically yourself, who you were. You're passionate about beer. You're a beautiful Black woman, and people saw you. They felt your message. They feel your positivity. You are 1000% yourself, and everybody came out for you. So I think that, that's a really important thing. Don't try to, take and pull from everybody else. Do what is authentic to you.
Yeah. Thank you for those kind words. I'm learning to be receptive and say thank you and not, be shy.
Like, oh, stop.
Oh, stop it. Keep going. You said that your nails were whatever, you were talking about the status of them because of from working.
Yeah.
Do you make these mugs like by yourself, like by hand?
No.
Oh, I was about to say, wait a minute, how do you do that?
I have
did you do it with a Cricut?
Right, I have a kilt outside, and I sit down like Ghost, and I make my mugs, and then slap it. No, so I have a partner who actually does the printing.
Okay.
Now, when I started the company, I truly thought that I was going to be able to press everything up by myself, like I was going to have time to do it. I have all of the equipment.
Wow.
The problem is, I have a family. I've got a career.
You have a job.
Yeah. So that wasn't possible. It just wasn't. And quite honestly, that's a point where I learned how to delegate, because as an entrepreneur, you cannot do it yourself.
You cannot do it well by yourself.
No, you have to find people who do it better than you.
Yep.
Even if it's a creative, someone who's a creative, if that's coming through you and you've got like a sounding board, that's great.
Absolutely.
You can't do it all by yourself. So no, I don't press these up. I do all the files. When you guys send your orders,
let me tell you,
I do the files.
And you'd probably do the boxing, and which is beautiful. When you receive a mantra mug, it is like a gifting experience. So like the box is beautiful, the paper, the handwritten note says thank you, all just so beautiful. It's a full experience. Now we have questions in the comments about mantra mugs.
Okay.
Someone wants to know if you can mix the fonts on one mug yet.
So, okay. At this point on the website, it's not possible. However, if you guys want to mix up the fonts, I have two that I currently use. I know some people, and I truly don't do colors. Like, I've gotten a couple of requests and actual orders of people that I don't know who have specifically asked for colors. I've done it, but it's not a part of the brand aesthetic from a creative standpoint, right?
No, I agree.
And so it kind of, I don't want to, for lack of a better term, it kind of bastardizes the consistency of the brand. So after some pressure, I added another font, and if you request it in the notes, I will contact you and we can play together.
Okay.
I don't mind so much now. When things start to ramp back up again, of course, the holidays is really hard to do that. Times like this where it's kind of, we've reached kind of a steady lull period, I can play a little bit more.
Yeah, you're so kind. I'll be like, hell no, black and white, one font.
Black and white,
that's it.
Yes.
So what else do you do? I mean, not that you have a lot of extra time on top of this, But what are some ways? So I asked this just to preface it. So I used to make earrings. I used to play around and make earrings, and I love doing it for myself. The moment I started selling them, I enjoyed it for a very short period of time and stopped doing it because I realized very quickly that the making of the jewelry and the earrings was like my personal creative outlet, and I didn't want to feel pressured to make them for other people. But when creativity is your job, what do you do outside of that, to kind of balance and, create that's not for the mantra mug? What
Yeah.
else do you do? How do you,
So
do
I'll be
that?
honest. So there's like kind of a 2-in-1 in there. So mantra mugs is actually my creative outlet.
Okay, good.
And
Yeah.
I'm lucky to be able to still say that.
Seriously though. Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
come in this
beautiful.
office and this is my piece, right? It's my piece. It's awesome to know that, I have people who, follow I'm saying, a whole lot. I have people that, follow and they look forward to the content or imagery that I put out, which is very cool. I actually had someone contact me the week that I did Good Morning America. I missed one day. I didn't post one day. And someone actually reached out and said, I know you're very busy, but I missed your post today. And it
Oh
just
my
like blew me
gosh.
back. Yeah, it really blew me back. So
Oh,
the creativity for me, honestly, is playing around with my posts and the images and, being real, kitschy about what I say. And that's for me, because I would ask anybody who knows me. I know Sandy Cap and Anais and Shar in there. I don't know if Tara's in there, but I was a tight ass.
no.
Yes.
Really?
Girl.
I don't
Yes.
believe it.
Very, very self-aware, very calculated, or not calculated, but very strategic in every move that
deliberate.
very deliberate. That's the word I was looking
Yeah.
for. Very deliberate in every single thing that I did.
Yeah.
And building this brand has allowed me to just open up and say, like, for real, fuck it. Like, sorry.
Yep. No, it's okay.
I'm a little too
It's a grown-up show. It's a grown-up show.
But yeah, so this honestly gave me the space to do that and be unapologetic about it. And it's so funny. I know people, so I have another page. Of course, I have my personal page, which, is almost night and day from what is on Mantra Mugs. But this is my true self. This is me moving into who I truly am. And so that's what I use this for. But outside of just, using this as a creative outlet, I meditate. I get outside. I put my hands in the dirt. I love gardening. I've got 2 beds out back. I just brought some stuff home to start putting in the dirt and getting ready. That's my piece. Like, that brings me back, because sometimes you do have to walk away for just a second to recharge.
It makes you better when you come back. It really does.
Yeah.
Listen, your friends are agreeing with your comments. I saw Chanel and I am Elena Santana, and somebody else was like, "Yep, no." And Anais agreed that you were a little
tight,
uptight before. Yeah. But I bet they would agree that this creative outlet has helped you to release and to be. And listen, I'm not judging you, because I'm like that too. My friends know that as well. I'm a Taurus, but I am an Aquarius rising. And so I know all about it, child. I am structured and regimented, and I appreciate order. That's just how I am. And when things are out of order, I have a really hard time sometimes adjusting. But what I've learned is, like you said, is like being able to just let go, understanding that remembering that things are not going to be perfect, because I certainly understand it. And that they're not going to always go my way. And like you, I meditate. I need to get back into it. I don't do it as frequently as I should. Shannon says that she also loves to meditate. I think when we can find space to do those things, it just unlocks that next level of creativity, and it gives us what we need to do whatever the next big thing is. Yeah. Whatever that may be.
I'll throw one more thing out there that'll help you tap into your it helped me. And there's many women on this this chat, and you know, I think it's important for us and to tap into our femininity, because there is a well of just knowledge and, you know, creative fire and passion that comes from tapping into that part of yourself. And, you know, we work in such like hyper masculine kind of spaces all the time. Like, we've been conditioned to kind of, you know, push ourselves into that space and operate. And so we find ourselves, you know, on 10 all the time and having to like, you know,
always defensive or protecting, not defending, but protecting in a lot of ways.
And there's no flow.
Oh, it's a horrible position or posture to be in.
There's no flow. And so what I've learned through all of the stuff that I've gone through over the past 2 years is that feminine fire is something serious.
It is.
And if harnessed, you can really go deeper into who you are and bring those things up out of you that will help you to create authentically, for sure.
What do you think? Give us one tip we can use to tap into that feminine fire and that energy. What do you do? How do you kind of tap into it on those days when you feel like, okay, I'm not really, I'm not feeling it, but let me just.
I will say we have had the luxury. Some will say luxury, some will say it's been crazy, but because of this, the pandemic, we all had a hard pivot and, found ourselves working from home. And when you do that, you find that you don't have to be in front of your laptop for 8 straight hours a day. You just don't, right? So what I've done is really started to take advantage of that. And when I feel depleted, I will take my ass right upstairs and I will run a bath.
Wow.
And I will put all the yummy stuff in it. Just dump it. Like, you know how you like hold back on putting oils in and
like one scoop.
Whole bag of Epsom salt, oils, candles. I'll turn the lights off during the day. Turn the lights off, flip the blinds a little bit to have just a little, just a little
ambiance.
And I will a lot of times I'll have something in my ear, whether it's music or listening to something, but I take that time, I lock the door. And I just take that time to just sit and be and just kind of replenish. And then I get out and I get my oils and all that. And I take time with myself.
Yes, a little luxuriating.
Yes, just in quiet. Just be quiet. And
being in that moment.
Yes. And once you're quiet like that, once you start to hear things, right? You start to feel things. You start to get little nods. And that's when that new stuff starts to come up. Right?
Yeah.
You got to take time to just sit back. Stop being in the midst of everything sometimes. But yeah, there are people that have not talked to me in months. I have sometimes you just have to cocoon yourself.
You do.
Right?
You do. It's a self-preservation method, and it's no offense to anyone else ever. And the people that know you don't take offense to you being in your cocoon and going into your bubble and coming back out.
Yeah.
Your amazing and beautifully fabulous self. You know what I mean?
Yes. We gotta take care of ourselves.
We do. You are such an inspiration. And I want to invite everyone to be a part of the Mantra Mug Club. How can people find you on Instagram?
On Instagram, I am at mantra.mugs.
That's right.
And the website is also in that link. I'm also on Facebook, but I just love Instagram. Guys, if you're looking to build a business, let me tell you something. Instagram, once you're ready, Instagram can take you to a whole nother place. Like I've literally, like real talk, built my business with friends, but built my business on Instagram.
I
So
love it.
mantra.mugs is my Instagram handle, and the website is mantramugs.net.
Yes.
And it's real fun. Just
.net.
go in there, play around. You're typing. You can see it appear on the mug as, you know, as is, and that's how it'll be printed. It's a lot of fun to go in there and play.
It really is. It really is. Before we go, I need your help with something.
Yes.
As you know, I'm giving away some Duchess Cosmetics every week.
I see your lips popping.
Yeah, this is color. It's called Jen. It's her limited edition.
Jen?
Yeah, it is.
I wonder how Jen will look on me.
It looks good on everyone. So today I just did one coat, so it's not as bright. If I would have done like a second coat, it really like pops into like HD. It looks like pow. And I have full lips, and I didn't want to give y'all all that tonight. Not yet. I may do it double coat.
Back.
Child, you did say that, but it was a lot for me, and I was like, okay, I may do 2 coats and post a picture on my Instagram story if y'all can see what I'm talking about. Right, get the lighting together. But I'm giving away a tube this week and every week, and I need your help. I want you to pick a number between 1 and 13, and that's going to be the winner.
7.
Number 7, yay! So number 7 is at Good As Food, which is a woman-owned food truck. I love her. Y'all go follow her.
Let me write that down.
At GOODAZZFOOD. So she's a food truck. She pops up at different locations. She goes to a lot of breweries and in Atlanta, but she goes to Georgia Tech as well and a lot of different places. And her food always sells out. Like, amazing food truck here in Atlanta. So Good As Food, I'll be sending you a link so that you can purchase or for free get your complimentary tube of gin. And Katrina, thank you for being here. As a thank you, I will be sending you a link as well to go shopping at Duchess Cosmetics as well, who is a fabulous women-owned business here in Atlanta, and I've been having a great time collaborating with on Women's History Month. You are a phenomenal woman.
You are,
and
true.
I appreciate you being in my life. And I remember our first conversation. You were one of the very first people I talked to in a professional capacity about me wanting to open my beer business. We were at Atlantic Station. Station. What was the name of that place?
Oh,
Strip?
Not Twist. Strip.
Strip?
Yeah.
Something like that at Atlantic Station. Years ago. Maybe 10 years ago. Something like that.
God, we sure did.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And I've never forgotten your positive words then. And we've just maintained such a sweet friendship over the years. And we don't see each other a whole lot, but it doesn't matter. We just still like, I don't know. We just connect.
I just feel I feel you. And sometimes I just want to reach out, and I just can't wait for coming off of I just cannot wait for your thing to just blow. And going back to creativity, I just want to give you kudos. 1 for staying the course. 1.
Thank you.
You didn't give up. 2, for pivoting.
Yes.
You pivoted so well.
Thank you.
Were right on the verge of opening doors, truly.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we got thrown into another space, and very quickly, your tribe came to you. You were like a magnet. And now, look, you're doing these series, and you're doing all of these other things, and you're growing your brand. I was telling Keenan last night, I said, God had another path for her, one more path for her to go down before she was supposed to get to this. Because all those people, all of us are coming along with you. You have scooped up so many new people on your path, on this little detour. Just wait, girl. Just wait.
I receive that.
Yeah.
I receive it. And I want to thank you again for being here. Thanks to everyone else who joined. Next week, the theme is movement. I'll be talking with Elisa Mercado Bowen Mercado, who's the owner of Rhythm Brewing up in Connecticut, and my sister Mickey Fit, who's a Pilates instructor. Next week is all about movement. We'll be here at 7 again. Thank you, Katrina, for being here. Thanks to all of y'all for being here tonight, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.